What if I told you that while you're grinding 60-hour weeks, some people are getting the same results in 24 hours? And they're not superhuman. They're just using AI the right way. In this video, I'm going to show you why ignoring AI productivity tools isn't just holding you back, it's career suicide. And I'll share 3 game-changing principles that are creating an unfair advantage for those who know them. Here's a brutal truth that nobody wants to talk about. We're in the middle of the biggest productivity revolution since the industrial age, and most people are completely missing it. Research from MIT and Harvard found that workers using AI properly can outperform their colleagues by up to 40%. That's not a small age. That's the difference between being promoted and being replaced. But here's what's even more interesting. A Stanford study showed that customer service agents using AI were handling 13.8% more cases per hour than those without it. The less experienced workers, they were suddenly performing at the same level as veterans with decades of experience. Think about what this means for a career. Right now, someone half your age with half your experience could be outperforming you simply because they understand how to work with AI while you're still doing everything the old way. And this isn't some distant future scenario. Companies are already making hiring decisions based on AI literacy. They are promoting people who can leverage these tools and quietly pushing out those who can't adapt. The uncomfortable reality is this. In 5 years, there will be 2 types of workers. Those who mastered AI productivity and those who became irrelevant. The question is, which one will you be? Let me paint you a picture of what's really happening in workplaces right now. There are people in your industry, maybe even in your company, who are finishing their work by lunch while you're staying late every night. They're not smarter than you. They're not more talented. They just understand something you don't. How to make AI do the heavy lifting. A recent survey found that workers using AI are saving about 5.4% of their work hours every week. That's just over 2 hours in a standard 40-hour work week. But frequent AI users are saving even more time. Imagine getting your Friday afternoons back every single week. But it's not just about time. It's about the quality of the work. AI doesn't just make you faster, it makes you better. It can analyze data you will never have time to look at, catch mistakes you will miss, and generate ideas you will never think of. The people who figured this out early aren't just more productive, they are becoming indispensable. They are the ones getting the promotions, the raises, the recognition. Meanwhile, everyone else is working harder, not smarter. And here's a kicker. This gap is widening every single day. Every day you wait to embrace AI productivity is another day someone else pulls further ahead. Now that you understand why this matters, let me share the 3 principles that separate AI productivity masters from everyone else. These aren't just theories. They are based on research from top universities and real-world data from companies that have cracked the code. Principle 1, the AI Pareto Principle. You have probably heard of the 80-20 rule. 80% of results come from 20% of efforts. But here's what most people miss. AI can help you identify that crucial 20% with surgical precision. Think about your typical workday. You're probably spending hours on tasks that barely move the needle, while the truly important work gets pushed to tomorrow. Research shows that when people use AI to analyze their workflows, they often find that around 25% to 40% of their daily tasks could be automated or streamlined. But here's where it gets interesting. You can apply the Pareto principle to AI itself. Not all AI tasks are created equal. Nielsen Norman Group found that the most cognitively demanding tasks saw the biggest productivity boost, with productivity increases of up to 126% for programmers and 59% for business writers. The key insight? AI isn't just about doing things faster, it's about doing the right things faster. When you use AI to tackle your highest impact activities, you don't just get incremental improvements, you get exponential results. And here's a secret that top performers know. You can square the Pareto principle with AI. Just like the original framework suggests, you can break down your most important AI-assisted tasks into smaller components. The 20% of your AI usage that produces 80% of the results can be further optimized. For instance, if you're using AI to write reports, the planning and structure phase, which might only take 20% of your time, determines 80% of the quality of your final output. By focusing AI assistance on that crucial planning phase, you maximize your impact. By focusing AI assistance on the most impactful phases of your work, a small portion of your time can drive a large share of your results. That's not just productivity, that's a superpower. Principle 2, the AI momentum effect. This principle is based on psychological research about starting tasks, but AI supercharges it in ways most people never consider. Studies show that the hardest part of any task is getting started. Once you begin, you naturally want to finish. It's called the Zeigarnik effect. But here's where AI changes everything. It can eliminate the friction of starting. Instead of staring at a blank page or empty spreadsheet, you can use AI to generate initial drafts, create outlines, or provide starting frameworks. You're not trying to complete the task perfectly. You're just trying to get something started that you can then improve. But smart AI users take this further. They use what could be called the AI momentum squared effect. They don't just use AI to start tasks. They use AI to prepare for starting tasks. For example, before writing a presentation, you might use AI to research the topic, generate an outline, create initial bullet points, and even suggest relevant data or examples. By the time you sit down to start working, the momentum is already built. Here's a practical example. Instead of spending 30 minutes figuring out how to begin a complex analysis, you can ask AI to break down the process into steps, gather preliminary data, and even suggest analytical approaches. What used to be a high friction start becomes effortless. The psychological impact is huge. When starting feels easy, procrastination disappears. When you're not overwhelmed by the scope of a task, you're more likely to begin. And once you begin with AI assistance, the quality of your work improves because you're building on a solid foundation rather than starting from scratch. Principle 3, the AI championship mindset. This is perhaps the most important principle, and it's where most people get AI productivity completely wrong. The championship mindset says sometimes you need to lose small battles to win the war. With AI, this means being willing to invest time learning AI tools and processes, even if it temporarily slows you down. Here's what happens to most people. They try an AI tool once. It doesn't immediately make them faster, so they give up and go back to their old methods. They are so focused on winning today's small game that they miss the championship opportunity. But research from multiple studies shows a clear pattern. There's a learning curve with AI tools, but once you cross a certain threshold, the productivity gains are massive and permanent. Early adopters who push through the initial learning phase are now operating at levels that seem almost unfair to their colleagues. The key insight is that mastering AI productivity isn't about time, it's about action. Many people think they need to wait until they have more time to learn AI tools, but waiting doesn't create knowledge. Experimenting does. Instead of spending weeks theorizing about which AI tools to use, successful people run small experiments daily. They test one AI feature today, try a different approach tomorrow, and iterate based on results. In the same time frame that others spend planning, they've already mastered multiple AI workflows. Here's a championship perspective. Every day you delay learning AI productivity is a day your competition pulls further ahead. The person who starts experimenting with AI tools today will be exponentially more productive than someone who starts next month. Not because of the time difference, but because of the compound learning effect. When you combine these three principles, something remarkable happens. You don't just get additive benefits, you get multiplicative results. The AI Pareto principle helps you identify which tasks deserve AI assistance. The AI momentum effect eliminates the friction of starting those tasks. And the AI championship mindset ensures you're constantly improving your AI capabilities while others are standing still. Research backs this up. Companies that have embraced AI productivity aren't just 10 to 20% more efficient, they are operating at completely different levels. Some studies report up to 40% performance improvements, throughput increases as high as 66%, and time savings that give workers their lives back. But here's what the research doesn't fully capture: the psychological benefits. When you're not drowning in busy work, you can focus on creative, strategic thinking. When AI handles the routine tasks, you can tackle the challenges that actually matter. When you're operating with an AI productivity system, work becomes engaging again instead of exhausting. So here's where we stand. You now understand why AI productivity isn't optional, it's survival. You know the three principles that separate AI productivity masters from everyone else. The question is, what are you going to do about it? You have two choices. You can keep doing things the old way, working harder while others work smarter. Watching opportunities pass you by while you're stuck in meetings that could have been emails, tasks that could have been automated, and problems that could have been solved in minutes instead of hours. Or you can embrace the AI productivity revolution. You can be among the early adopters who gain an unfair advantage while others are still figuring out what's happening. You can be the person who finishes work early, produces higher quality output, and has time for the things that actually matter. The choice seems obvious, but here's the thing. Most people will choose the familiar struggle over the uncertain advantage. They will stick with what they know, even when what they know is holding them back. Don't be most people. The AI productivity revolution is happening with or without you. The only question is whether you'll be leading it or left behind by it. If you found this valuable, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Also, if you're interested in starting your own personal brand or don't know how, click the link down below. Remember, The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. The same is true for AI productivity. Start today and thank yourself later.